Right, we'll have a look inside this little car. Just have a look at the bottom first. ARTIN Industrial Company Limited. NORC-34 0881 783 A2 LANCIA. Right, comes apart easily enough. That's the loose wires that I could see on a little light. I was going to say LED, but it's not an LED. But I think that should be fitting inside that plastic there so that we have front lights and rear lights. And we got a bit of solder there. I wonder if that was soldered in place. They're a bit dirty. I don't think that's a problem. I have no idea what this is on the back here. There's a little sort of flap thing that sort of bounces up and down. What's that all about? Yeah, there's a... Let's see if we can get the motor out so we can see what I'm talking about. Is that going to come out easily, or is that going to be awkward? Oh, that's coming out. Yeah, the little gear's got like a cam on it. Is that going to focus? Don't know if that's in focus or not, but we've got this odd shaped cam which makes this bounce up and down, but I can't think of any purpose for it doing that. It'll make a noise. But I can't see that it rubs against anything to make anything else happen. Bit of a mystery, that. That certainly looks like that's supposed to be... Oh, that's no good at all now, is it? That's broken. Not going to be able to replace that because the wire's disappeared right into the glass there. Oh, that's a shame. I was up for trying to fix that. I could try getting a bit of solder on there, but I don't think I've got a hope. We'll try the USB soldering iron because it's very quick to warm up. I don't think we've got hope, but we'll give it a try. I would imagine what will happen is I'll try and put some hot solder on there and the glass will just crack. Helping hand. I think this will end in tears. I wonder how many volts. Oh, I know, it's 2 AA batteries in the controller. So I'll select 2 AA's out of my 8-pack here and see if we can light the light. I'll just switch that soldering on off again for now. We had a brief flash of light and then the wire fell off again. So we'll heat up the soldering iron again and we'll give it another go. And then I'll probably have to put some epoxy or hot glue over that to try and hold it all together. Well, it's lighting. What do we think? Hot glue or epoxy? Hot glue's going to melt if that heats up, so I think a little bit of epoxy. 2-pack epoxy. A little bit of Poundland 2-part epoxy resin. You need a tiny little bit. I expect those little light bulbs are available somewhere. Right, I really don't want to move this at all, but I'm going to have to, otherwise it's going to get glued to the crocodile clip. Because when I've done this, it's not going to fit into that little hole there where it's supposed to sit. But we'll worry about that later. I'm trying to angle it down so that the surplus drips off in the right direction. Right, this leftover 2-pack epoxy has gone pretty hard. It's still a bit tacky, so I'm going to leave it for a little bit longer. I've put the motor back in, and I think I've worked out what this little cam and flappy bit of plastic's all about. I think it's some sort of a brake. I think that slows it down. Well, that is the only thing I can think it's for. One thing that's a bit disappointing is this one goes in reverse compared to the other 2 cars that I've got. You see, it stops quickly when I take the battery off. Yeah, it goes in reverse to the other 2 cars I've got, but there's no way I can reverse it so it goes the opposite way, because the metal plates that the brushes are attached to just go directly to the motor. So unless I cut them off short and then put little bits of soldered wire on to swap them over, it's going to be going the wrong direction. I could do that. I could bend those metal plates up, solder some wire to them, and then reverse it. That seems a lot of work when it's probably going to be just as much fun for my grandsons to have one going in reverse. The other thing, we're missing a magnet. I don't know if I've got anything suitable. That's probably too big and going to drag on the ground, that one. It's probably not strong enough anyway. I'll have a look, see what I've got. Well, for a magnet, I've got a broken neodymium magnet here. The only problem is if it does drag on the track, it'll short out because it's conductive, isn't it? But I'll try super gluing it in place and just see if it works. While we've got this little light sitting here, I'll see if I can get some fresh solder on the end of these bits of wire. The soldering done. What's the chances of getting that into there? I really think I ought to leave that a bit longer, because although that's quite hard to touch now, I think I'll be better off leaving it for another hour or so it sets properly. Well, after all that effort, I've got a double failure. First of all, there's no sign of those no sign of that light coming on. So that failed. So I guess I will have to replace that with an LED. Second failure is my idea of using a bit of neodymium magnet there was way over the top. It's now virtually glued to the track and it doesn't move. Well, it's certainly not going to come off on the corners, but it's not going to go forwards either. I've literally glued it to the track, so I'm going to have to get a different magnet, and I think I might replace that little light with an LED of some sort. So, failure.